Everybody to our uniquely live stream. I'm so excited to have y'all with us today. We've got a great session. It's about AI. You've seen the title, How to Make AI Work for You. It's really important to us that we recognize it as a tool,
Right.
not as the end all be all. We've got the literal best possible expert to be here to talk about this subject. This is my friend Cheryl Donnerson.
Hi.
She is, how do I even describe what you do at Curator now?
Well, I'm technically the marketing specialist.
There we go,
That is my
marketing
role.
specialist. Right.
So,
And she is a specialist at marketing in like so many different facets. You joined us primarily to write it was listing
listing
promotion copy.
promotions. Yeah.
You've got a copywriting background
Right.
that goes quite a ways back.
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell them a little bit about. I know you've worked with some brands, you've worked with different verticals. You don't have to reveal too much, but just like tell them a little bit
Um,
about your writing experience.
yes, I've been a writer maybe for over a decade, maybe 12 years at this point. I used to run a very, very, very popular blog called The Wanderlust Project, where I reviewed Korean cosmetics. And then that kind of took me into writing for Allure, People, Birdie, Brides.com, as well as doing copywriting for like Louis Vuitton, Marc Jacobs.
I think I've heard of
So
some of those.
I know
So,
I'm
and
here.
that's your curator, and we're so lucky to have you. And obviously, over the last several years, there has been a bit of a transformational wave
Right. Oh my God.
with
Yeah.
with AI, and people keep saying it's like, "Oh, it's going to replace all the writers' jobs," and I'm happy to say it has not. It has not, but it has, I think, transformed the way you do your job,
Yes, for sure.
and
For
clearly has. Cheryl doesn't just write listing promotions anymore. She helps on the curator marketing side, crafting copy for our blog, for our emails, for our social. She also leads the content production for our client side,
right.
for their blogs, for their email,
Emails
for
for
their
their
social.
social.
And there's and like and the work that apparently I've muted myself. Which
Go
honestly,
back.
like people have been asking me to do that for years. Not even on Zoom, just like in person. How long was somebody drop in the comments. How long was I on mute? Let's just see.
It's like 30 seconds.
Oh, only 30 seconds. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, sorry about that, y'all. What a doofus. Maybe I should let an AI host take over. They
Maybe.
wouldn't mute themselves.
Maybe they would.
Maybe they
I don't
would.
know.
Anyway, so Cheryl's done a tremendous job of crafting so much output, so much content for both Curator and for our clients that still sounds human, that still stays relevant. And so that's what we wanted to share with you all today. And I happen to be in Cheryl's neck of the woods, so we thought, what better subject to sand off the edges of how non-human it might be by getting face to face and actually getting to have a
Exactly.
real human conversation in person. So.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us live. Thank you for joining us later. And Cheryl, I'm gonna turn things over to you a little bit. I know you've got a pretty long list of guidances, recommendations, how to improve your prompts. I know we're gonna start with an email.
Yes. We're gonna
So
start with an
tell them a
email.
little bit about like what are we gonna work on in ChatGPT in this LLM today?
So today we're going to work on crafting an email, crafting a blog, potentially crafting some social captions as well that don't sound like everybody else. If you use a lot of ChatGPT, especially as a marketer, you will start to see the patterns in everybody's social media posts or in everybody's blog. And so that is what I'm here to help you avoid. So it doesn't sound like everybody else's. I've done a lot of prompting work to help create curator's voice in ChatGPT. And it took a while for it to finally understand what I wanted it to do.
That's one of those things that I think people think, oh my goodness, it's like it's I took like I've given it over to the AI and now it's so fast. Fast is one value,
Right.
but is it as good as what like if you would have taken 3 hours to craft something that you were happy with, and it took 30 seconds for the AI to craft something that's like passable, that's not apples to
Right.
apples.
You still need to go through and add a human touch
Yeah,
or work on crafting the prompts to give you a better output. So you
right.
do spend less time maybe
In
editing.
the long run,
Right.
it ends it right. It is this like exponential time saver, but there is still upfront work that you can and in fact should do.
Yes.
If the point was I'm a perfectionist and when I'm trying to write, it takes me so long. It's like, cool, well, take a little bit of that perfectionist energy and use it
To help better craft your AI
in the
voice.
long run.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's what we're going to show you today. We're going to kick off things with an email. We're going to show you a little bit of a like what to do and what not to do, based on feedback, based on what we see out there in the world. So Cheryl's going to share her screen and walk us through a little bit of the overall experience working with ChatGPT to improve the output, improve the prompts to help you craft a message and not just spit something out.
Exactly. So let's start here. Okay. So what's so funny about using ChatGPT is that I initially had to tell it to ignore the curator voice because it wouldn't have given me bad output.
Generic output.
Right. It would
Right.
have given me generic
So,
output.
so we're saying like we're presupposing you're starting from a fairly generic, neutral starting point with ChatGPT.
Right. So our generic prompt, if you're just like, I want to write an email to my database, what should I do? So I have here, write an email about staging a home. So this is going to give us some very generic uh, copy. The subject is why staging your home is important,
Agreed.
which,
It's not
okay, it's
wrong,
not wrong, but it's
but
not exciting. That doesn't make me want to click on
no.
it doesn't make me want to click on this email. And then we have this very formal, very stiff copy. Dear homeowner, staging your home is an important step of the selling process. A well-staged home can attract more buyers and help you sell faster and for a higher price. Consider decluttering, adding fresh flowers, and making your home look its best. Contact me today to learn more. Sincerely, Cheryl. Again, nothing is necessarily wrong with this. If you
Right.
wanted to go ahead and use this,
It sounds like
it's
to me, it
fine.
sounds like if Sam Eagle from the Muppets wrote it. Dear homeowner, staging your home is an important step. And it's a little stuffy.
Yes. It's a little too formal for my liking. My thing is real estate agents, the most important part of your business is becoming like being personable, being a
Hmm.
natural human and forging those connections with your clients. And so you don't want to come off as like overly stiff or robotic. So a way that you could my tip number one is be specific. So when you are crafting these emails, you want to be as specific as possible. You want to give the AI your tone of voice.
Hmm.
You want to tell it how many words you want it to write. You also want it, if you want a CTA, you need to include that as well. So we're going to
So, right.
update that prompt.
Yeah, and how much, yeah, how difficult is it to say, like, if you have your brand voice dialed in, or if you, even if you've never done like a brand instance with a company like Thousand Watt, for instance, and shout out to Thousand Watt, they do amazing work helping develop both visual and like brand voice kits. But if you haven't done that, you still probably have a sense of, do I sound more
Friendly or am I more educational? Am
right?
I more funny or witty
Witty
or
is good. Clever
clever? Or am
or
I very professional?
professional, right? Am I a
Right.
little buttoned up? I probably wouldn't use the term button, but yeah, I'm on the professional side? Am I on the personable side?
Then we have luxury
Oh, sure.
versus,
Approachable,
right,
casual.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the way I would change this prompt, I'm going to put this here. So we have write a friendly educational email that helps home sellers understand the benefits of professional staging. Keep it under 150 words and include a soft CTA to schedule a walkthrough. So we have here ChatGPT's output. The subject is a simple way to make your home stand out. a little bit more compelling and engaging.
Well, it suggests something that I'm going to learn by clicking in.
Exactly. And
What is that simple way? Click.
when buyers scroll through listings, you've got seconds to make a first impression. And that's where staging comes in. I like that. It sounds very professional. It
Hmm.
sounds very more human, I think, right?
Very much.
Professional staging isn't about decorating. It's about helping buyers picture themselves living in your space. From lighting to layout, even small changes can make your home feel bigger, brighter, and more inviting. Thinking about listing soon? This is that soft CCA. I'd be happy to walk through your home and share simple tips to help it show its best. Just apply if you'd like to set something up. So we're working with something here.
Yeah, we're getting
We're
closer.
getting closer.
It sounds like an email that a human might have written,
Yeah,
at least.
yes, it does sound like a human wrote this. It does sound like a professional copywriter, professional marketer wrote this. Now we can go through and change the tone of voice even more. Maybe we
Yeah.
want to make it a little witty. I love using a little humor.
Let's see what it does.
So
I'm still of the opinion, and this I might be crazy. Robots aren't that funny yet. We'll see.
we'll see what
We'll
happens.
see we'll see if it's witty. And we've got a question in the comments around even like targeting it to the audience. We're talking about specificity. Right now we're talking about specificity of tone in the
Right.
content. Another way to add specificity is like what if you know the segmentation of who you're emailing, your buyer persona, your seller persona that you're speaking to, are there ways to craft a prompt to adjust not just the tone, but to whom you are speaking?
Right. So we can say, I'd love to make this email more personable and witty. I'm sending this to a group of potential
Home sellers.
sellers.
But then let's say like if you have a sense of their demographic, if you have a sense of their interests, if you have a sense of their
Home sellers who first time home sellers maybe? Or first time potential home sellers in, we can do a specific area
yeah, sure,
in Pensacola, Florida.
sure. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Great context. I love when the ChatGPT gives me positive feedback.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's like, thank you, robot.
Oh,
But I will say, I'll give some positive feedback to this robot right now because your home's big debut. Let's make it a showstopper with a little emoji.
yeah.
I'm starting,
It's
like,
getting,
I'm
it's
actually
getting
starting, I'm
cute.
starting
It's
to
getting
feel
cute.
this.
So, oh, this is fun. Let's be honest. Selling your home is a bit like dating.
Mm.
You only get one chance to make a killer first impression. That's where staging comes in.
All right, house, calm down.
Staging isn't just about turning your house into a magazine spread. It's about creating a vibe, which I love that word, vibe. But
Yeah.
this is giving millennial.
Youthful, millennial. Sorry, youthful, approaching
Listen,
middle-aged. It's fine.
I refuse that. I rebuke that. That makes buyers say, yep, this is the one. In Pensacola's competitive market, even small tweaks like rearranging furniture or ditching that giant beanbag. Now that's shade,
That is okay.
but okay, can make a big impact. Thinking of selling soon, I'd love to swing by, which I like that.
You
I'd
like
love to swing by. Yeah, it sounds very human.
oh yeah. I'm like
Yeah.
I might not even suggest that I love to swing by. Is like
No, but I mean, like
that's depending on but the phrasing,
yes.
the verbiage.
Right, for a quick walkthrough and shares what works and what doesn't when it comes to prepping your place. Now, this last section here, no pressure, just helpful advice. I
I love that.
know
You don't like
because the
that?
ChatGPT uses this
Oh,
phrasing so much.
is it really?
Yes, it's always like no fluff, just this.
Oh, I've had
No
that one I
pressure,
see a lot.
just
No
this.
fluff.
And
I
it's
see no
like,
fluff a lot.
I see it in so many people's content, and I'm like, yeah, that ChatGPT wrote that.
Yeah.
So
Now, I gotta say, all right, now it's in the comments already. Even before in our prep, we were talking with Mike, our designer, and I think Mike brought it up or Wendy brought it up. One of our team members brought it up. And now I see Karen in the comments and I see it in no pressure, just helpful advice. What's up with the M dash? Karen says, curious about the M dash. Do you suggest to delete them? It's so GPT obvious.
I
You take the lead on this.
So here's the thing. ChatGPT is a language model. So it learns from the best of the writing that it gets,
Right.
right? So M dashes have been used for forever.
for
And it
forever.
knows that that is a great grammar construction to write a sentence, right? It does
Indeed.
make it sound much more human to
Now,
me.
okay, my soapbox. I got a little soapbox. So, from the day, and we talk about being millennial, from the days of AOL Instant Messenger, I have been a believer in proper punctuation to
Yes.
the extent that as a middle schooler, when I was like typing back and forth with friends from middle school, they'd always be like, "Why are you like so proper? Why are you using periods at the end of your sentence?" I'm like, "Because it's a sentence and it deserves a period at the end." So that's just for setting the stage for who I am and how I am. So that's
And
fine.
we've known each other for 20 years at this point,
Oh
over
God.
20
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
So I can attest that
You
this
can
is also
attest.
correct.
But so my take there is that a period at the end of a text message now does read to certain people as a little formal. Or, oh, are you mad at me?
Mm,
And so here's what I would say about the M dash is it is a great tool to use that writers have been using, but it's not a colon or a semicolon.
yes.
And that's what, like, I think that's why in the conversational tone that most folks adopt, you're seeing more M dashes because the alternative is either a period, a period, a period. It's like, well, those are a sentence and a separate thought and a sentence and a new thought. Or it was like, well, they're connected. Well, the most proper thing to use there would actually be a semicolon. And
Which
and
is I hate.
I was like, right. And
I'm not
so
a fan.
so that's where I do think you're seeing that writers have already responded to human feedback that's like, oh, semicolons and colons, like that's a little buttoned up. That's a little stuffy. That's a
Yeah.
little a grammar.
It's giving two spaces after the period. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Sorry to those who are watching right
Sorry.
now, but come on, y'all. So but so that would be my take is that the M dash is and like now, and this is where language evolves. So now, if the common thought is an M dash means a robot wrote, I'd be like, well, the robot learned off what human writers wrote. But if in the same way that a word, say literally, can be added to the dictionary to mean its literal opposite, language is just a thing that evolves based on usage and whether it's right or wrong. If more people end up saying the M dash makes me think a robot wrote it, then I'd start to get rid of it a little bit. I'm a true believer in the M dash's utility and versatility in the English language, but it's not a hill I'm willing to die on. If you're hearing more and more from people that you're sending emails to or that you're writing content for, oh, it looks like a robot wrote this because there's an M dash, give them a little bit of this soapbox, but then after that, if they say no, it's like, all right, man, you want a semicolon instead? Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could say more, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. This could turn into a whole thing.
It'd be a
This
whole
could turn
thing.
into a whole thing. We've got more tips.
The
And
dash webinar.
this could be the hot take bonanza.
Okay, so this email's cute. I'm happy with this for now.
For
As
now.
you see, we went from this very like staging your home is an important step in the selling process to, let's be honest, selling your home is a bit like dating. So we can see how we've made some progress.
Yeah.
We can see how we've made some progress. Now, for the second part, we can add on to this. We want to define the role. So we want to frame the AI's point of view. So we want to tell it who you are,
Hmm.
right? So you can say, or
Not
who it is.
right. Who it is representing, who
Right.
it's
Who is it
acting as, who
representing?
it's speaking as.
So you would maybe change this to act as a real estate marketing strategist writing for homeowners. So act as a real estate marketing strategist writing for homeowners thinking of selling this summer. Let's see what it says. We're going to see what
Let's see what it does.
So absolutely. Here's a version written with the voice of a real estate marketing strategist speaking directly to so it remembered that we were talking to Pensacola homeowners.
All right.
That's cute. Considering selling this summer. It strikes a friendly but savvy tone with just the right bit of balance and strategic value. We'll see about that. So
I'm glancing ahead. I'm already getting that the word strategist is showing up
yeah,
in the way that it's framing this argument, in the way that it's building a case for staging. That's interesting.
right. So if you're thinking of selling this summer, here's one move that consistently helps homes stand out in the Pensacola market staging. So you can already see the difference between this email and the one where I said, hey, let's make this a bit more personable and witty, like this one definitely reads as if it was written by a marketing
A
strategist.
strategy, right?
Yeah.
Right. It has a slightly different tone. It's not
Right.
as casual and friendly as the second one, but it's not as buttoned up as the first.
Exactly.
Now, here is this is a detour opportunity that I know is important to both of us. As we were talking about prep for this email is the one where I think we can talk about it because I'm seeing here's one move that consistently helps homes stand out. Now, oh, is there a stat to back that up?
Oh God, here we go.
So, so obviously, sometimes you like to cite your sources. Now this is maybe the bane of Cheryl's existence. So if you were thinking, I don't want to just sound like I'm saying, hey, you really should, and go with the common sense. I know you already know that staging is going to help the house, but like, is there data? Is there a stat? Is there a survey? Is there something that can back that up for me? Here's a pro tip on how to use ChatGPT when it comes to stats.
Okay, so I love using stats to help infuse our content with more what's the word?
Validity,
Validity, right. However,
social proof.
social proof. However, Miss Robot here, she loves to not give the correct information some of the times. So
She's
I'm just
mischievous.
gonna ask, can you give me a stat or data to back up any to back up the benefits of staging? Sorry, my nails. I just got my nails done today,
You want
so
to show them? They look great.
very brat summer.
Brat Summer round two.
So
So
it gives me, here's a recent incredible stat you can use. We'll see about
we'll see
that.
about the credibility.
Staged homes sell for up to 20% more than non-staged homes and spend 73% less time on the market, according to the Real Estate Staging Association, which
Maybe that's a real thing, or
exists, but it doesn't.
it,
So
that might be made up.
it sounds true, right? Like on a
But,
logical level, you're like, well, yeah, of course.
for up to 20% more. Okay. Yeah.
So I want to ask it to give me the link so I can double check that this is correct, right? Can you provide the link and source where you found this stat? Let's see.
And I hope it does.
It's taking a long time to think, which is giving that it doesn't have it.
It's got the spotlight above.
It's searching the
Robots.
web.
It's using a lot of bottled water right now to keep the servers cool.
Okay, so it's saying certainly, here are some credible statistics, faster sales. So as you can see, these two data points that it gave me are not what it told me up here.
A little different. Here are some credible statistics, not the one that we just told you about.
So you then have to go. Yeah, is that even a true? Okay,
The
so
Real
the
Estate Association,
Association is a
a
true,
group out of Columbus, North Carolina.
right.
Interesting.
Okay, but as you can see, it didn't give me that link to whatever it got it from that
Did
website.
not.
So you have to go and do your Googles. Anytime you use a stat, like down here it says ChatGPT can make mistakes, check important info. You got to check the info.
It means it.
You got to do the Google.
That's one
You
place
got
where
to
it's
research.
one place where it's not lying to you.
It's right.
When it says I might be lying to you, believe it.
So, according to the Real Estate Staging Association, homes staged for listings sold approximately 9 days faster, which
Yeah.
when I click the link is giving
It's true.
me Raleigh Realty and
Okay.
not anything associated with the Resta
Interesting.
webpage. And then apparently, according to NAR, 20% of sellers observed a 1 to 5% increase in the dollar value offered by buyers for staged homes. Which could be correct, maybe if we click on that link. But
Yeah.
my point is, you have to go through and double check
Yeah.
because sometimes it's not correct.
I'm sorry that this is advice that a middle school English teacher would give you,
But
it's still real.
There have been times when I have almost published something and my gut was like, yeah, you need to go check that. Is that true? And it was not
That was not
true.
true.
It was not
Right.
true at all.
So again, we like this is where it's like, look at all the time I saved using ChatGPT to help craft my content. Great. Use some of that time you saved to make sure that you're not like peddling misinformation. That would
Exactly.
be that. So step one was use some of that time to make sure that the content is well written and sounds authentic and sounds like it's coming from you.
Right.
Two, use some of that time you're saving to verify the authenticity of the information. Double check, triple check your sources. Same as the Wikipedia concept. Wikipedia is not a valid source for writing essays, but it is a pretty solid resource for finding those quotes and finding those stats. But you don't just use the Wikipedia page, you go to the footnotes and you go to the articles that were published that it's citing. So use ChatGPT, but also know it literally hallucinates. It does,
Yes.
it makes up organizations, associations, studies, and surveys from time to time.
Yes.
So don't be
Yeah.
afraid of that a little extra around the corner to make sure that you're publishing valid information.
100%. Yeah. It hallucinate is definitely the correct word, right? It will not tell you no. That's the thing. It won't say, "Hey, I couldn't find that." It will just
That's
make things up.
is there a way like I've been seeing a lot of discourse about this recently. Is there a way like we said we tried to start with a clean slate on this model today. Are there ways to encourage it to like if you can't find it, tell
It
me.
still doesn't
It's
do it because
see
I've done that with our marketing.
right.
And it's like, yes, I will be sure to tell you when I can't find it. And then the next time I find a fake, then
Wild.
like it's, yeah,
Wild. All right.
wild.
Enough of our lecture on that. We'll keep things moving, keeping the tips, the actionable advice moving along. I
Yeah.
think next we wanted to talk. So we've been doing this as a blog, as an email for starters. We want to talk a little bit about maybe
Let's do a blog post.
yeah,
So we've written this email. Let's keep the same topic.
yeah,
Let's
staging your
talk
own.
about staging your home.
Cool.
So I want to write a blog post. So let's say write a what, 1,000 word?
Yeah, we could go 1,000 word,
Write a
750 to
thousand,
1,000 word.
let's
Yeah.
say 800 to 1,000 word blog post about the benefits of staging your home in Pensacola. We want to be specific about who we're writing to.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say this post will be geared towards homes, let's say millennial home sellers,
Okay. Well, I guess right now they're millennial home owners
homeowners,
who
millennial
might become.
homeowners who are curious about selling their home.
This is one where my instinct is like, oh, like based on the current mortgage rates, that's probably a situation where again the stats, the
Yeah,
facts and figures it's probably going to create more curveballs. And again, this is where it's going to give you a draft. You can infuse your own. That's the it's like here's Steve's pro tip is what the thing gives you, even after you've prompted, reprompted, you can still inject your own authentic writing. That's the after you can't find a stat or a survey, include your own. Like you have market
yes,
experience. You know
right.
what's going on in your local market that you can cite things from your own market snapshot, from your IDX data, from your MLS that you can inform it. You don't have to get the robot to give it to you. You can uh, editorialize on top of or replace content from what the AI is giving you.
Exactly. So we have told it specifically, so again, specificity, how many words we want, who we're writing this geared towards. I use tone of voice, which is my personal thing that I focus the most on. So use a conversational, not salesy marketing tone of voice. Um, add a soft CTA at the end. Let's see what it gives us. Sure.
What do we got? Should you stage your home before you sell? Short answer.
It's cute. I do like that
Conversation.
headline. Yes, very conversational. I don't like this intro.
Nope.
But if you're a millennial homeowner in Pensacola thinking
It
about
said, thank
selling,
you for the specificity around the audience. I will quote you chapter and verse.
exactly, you're probably juggling a dozen questions at once. Should I wait for interest to drops? Yada, 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 yada. And somewhere in the mix, one tends to pop up. Do I need to stage my home? Let's get into it. So first, what even is staging? Cool. Um, and again, ChatGPT also loves this phrasing. It's not about this, it's this.
Mm-hmm.
So I,
So that's a pro tip from someone who is engaging with AI more than
right?
most is
That's a
that
TED giveaway.
okay.
Yeah, it's again, it's that like no fluff, just results. And you're like, oh my God, okay.
So, and again, there's a reason why it's doing this. It's pulling from good writers. And a really great way to communicate an idea is not just to define what something is, but also to come up with the antithesis and say, it's not this, it's that.
As you can see down here, it's not personal, it's strategic. Like this is now what the third time you've
In
seen.
third time in 4 paragraphs.
Right.
So while it is a solid way, a solid convention for defining solid versus not, probably something that you want to start avoiding more and more as it turns out it's turning into a little bit of one of those CAPTCHA tests. It's
Yes.
letting you know, oh, this is kind of roboty.
Yeah, so it gave us some statistics again. You're going to have to make sure to double check those. And if you have any for your specific market, that would be the great place to add them, and where you probably don't want to rely on ChatGPT to give you those stats. And same with this, like why it matters even more in Pensacola. I think this is great. I don't know anything about Pensacola. I don't know why I chose that, but military families, remote workers, vacation home shoppers,
It's all true.
that's all true. Plus, Florida buyers expect a certain vibe, clean, airy, bright, the move-in ready look. Staging helps dial in that vibe, even if your current style is more cozy than coastal. Which, if you're somebody who is an agent at Pensacola, maybe that's true, maybe that's not. So
Right.
you can go ahead and change that
Tweak
as
that
well.
accordingly. That's what I'm already getting a little bit inspired. I'm thinking about like how do you again, creating a blog post isn't the goal.
Right.
It's creating a conversation. It's creating a launching point to engage real people and have real conversations. So like my brain's already going from, okay, this blog post, this is a good foundation. You can add your own examples. Like it starts talking about like, oh yeah, like staging does this. Get rid of the national stats. Who's the last seller that you worked with that you helped stage?
Mm.
And
Oh,
then
yeah.
that to me, that turns into, is that a link to a case study that you might have already created, or is that a good excuse to create a case study? Is that more of a social campaign where you're showing off? Like, again, have you already created maybe a carousel of posts, the before and after your staging? That's one of those things where you're using this content. Don't think about this content being in a vacuum.
Hmm.
If you're writing something, let that be a launching point into showcasing the quality work that you've done in helping other home sellers. I think that's one of the, you see so often blog content that feels like it's just existing kind of like in a closed ecosystem. If
Hmm.
you are going through and crafting a post, think about the connections to other things that you've already created.
Right. So say you're like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this. I want a different vibe. So instead of just saying try again, which let's say try again and see what it gives us, it just says, here's a new version of this blog that's more grounded, natural, and written in a millennial homeowner with a millennial homeowner in mind.
So this is
So,
this is just like hitting redraft.
right, it's just hitting redraft. It's
No,
just
no notes, no feedback.
exactly. So, what I suggest is giving it very specific prompts. So, what I didn't like, and this is a tip, you can actually tell it to not use AI generated sentences or AI generated words or things that come up very often.
Okay.
So, I
How are we gonna tell it
say
that?
rewrite with a more compelling human tone of voice. Avoid any and all AI generated phrasing.
Like giveaways,
So
like
no
telltale.
fluff, just results. Phrasing, sentences, sentence structures, and wording. And what else do we want to add here? Let's say avoid sounding like a template, and let's please write a stronger hook. So those are the things that I found wrong with it. So I want it to be more compelling, have a more human tone of voice, avoid all AI generated phrasing, that no fluff, just results phrasing, sentence structures and wording, avoid sounding like a template, please write a stronger hook. So let's see what it gives us.
Ooh,
Okay, so this is great, better.
it's better.
Well, okay. So you've got great
Better and
taste.
worse.
You've made smart updates over the years, maybe even painted the cabinets yourself and survived. I like that. I like that opening a lot better than the first one that it generated. This actually seems like a person who understands the pain points of selling and living, being a homeowner.
And it's exactly, and it's doing the thing. We talk about this a lot. You're not the hero, you're the guide. Your audience is the hero. This is honestly, it's funny because we're talking about how like the AI will compliment you a little too much in your conversation about the prompt. But what the AI is doing here, what the author is doing here, is giving credit to the reader, which might be buying a little bit of, ooh, oh yeah, I do have good taste. I have made smart updates over the years. That's yeah, it's kind of winning them over to your side with a little bit of flattery up front to get them to buy into what you're about to sell them.
Right. So it's still giving us that it's not about this, it's about this phrasing. So it didn't really listen to me, but okay. I have to be more specific. That's where the specificity comes in,
Mhm.
where I should have, prompted next time. You can
Specifically,
say specifically, do not use this phrasing. It's not about faking perfection. It's about clearing the path so buyers can walk through the front door or scroll through the photos and think, yep, this could work. Do 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 do. So
I love Calvin's comment. I just saw this from a few minutes ago. If the target audience for these emails is clients and not fellow marketers, copywriters, or AI native users, they're unlikely to notice or care about M dashes. That's a good point. Like there's so much real estate content, I'd say especially on social, but all over the place, that it's like it looks like it's designed for other realtors. And there's some like marketer content is so much for other marketers. Don't forget that your audience is it feels great to get engagement and views and likes from other marketers, but like that's like an algorithm hack.
right.
That's there to help you get a little bit farther with your real intended audience, which is in this case home buyers and home sellers.
Right.
Unless your business has changed to the phase where agent attraction and recruitment, and you're selling a course and you're doing tips and trainings and things like that. Like if you're on stages, then your audience does shift. But I know a lot of agents, folks who've worked with Curator for years, who have grown their followings and gone for like have had to make a really distinct choice around like, all right, is my social content for the other agents and it's for my speaking career and my coaching career? So maybe that's my personal account. And then I've got my real estate account that's still speaking to the members of my community.
Yeah. Exactly. So I like this section, what it looks like in real life. Again, no, not this one, the proof, because we know you want it. I love that headline. That's a great one. Shout out to ChatGPT. This is where, again, you could add in your own social proof. And then I do like this. So yeah, worth a little effort once you give some,
Very, very casual,
yeah,
very
very
human. I
human,
shouldn't even say
right?
casual. It's just
And again, if your voice is more professional, you can prompt it to be more professional if that's
right.
not your vibe. Um, which is like, yeah, is this gonna cost me a fortune?
Even gonna is
Okay,
like
so it's like,
I like it.
I like it. And then I like how it just responds, not unless you want it to. Like that's cute.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this, obviously. And again, here we have this
No
no
pressure.
pressure, just honest
Responsible.
advice.
All right, I'm seeing it a lot more now. Oh, I can't unsee it.
You're gonna see
No, I
it
can't
so
unsee
much.
it. All right.
You're gonna see it so much. Trust me. Once you see it, you can't
This
unsee
is one of
it
those
because
glass shattering moments. All right.
it's
It's
everywhere. It's
everywhere.
everywhere. Okay. So it actually has asked me, would you like matching social captions or Instagram's real script to go with this?
Hey,
Yes, sure.
let's go ahead and migrate from the email and then the blog into the social.
Yes. So You want to go step by step. So when you have complex tasks, like you want it to write a blog, an email, social posts, and a reel template. You don't want it to do all of that at once.
Right.
So we've done a good job of kind of breaking it down. We started with the email, now we have the blog, and now we can move on to social content. So let's start, let's start with matching social captions first. Let's see what it gives. Oh, it's giving us 7. Okay.
All right, so
Um, okay. Sorry. My dog is drinking water.
I bet the microphone's not that good to pick it up.
Your house isn't messy, it's lived in. But when it's time to sell, even small changes can make a huge difference in how buyers feel when they walk in. I also love how ChatGPT, it gives you italicized, but like I can't italicize in
Yeah, there are certain
Facebook.
platforms. It's like that's not an option. Yeah.
Right. So my advice would be to kind of go through here and depending on what your social media strategy is, whether you use the same copy for all of your
Your LinkedIn, your
platforms,
Facebook, your Instagram.
or if you are somebody who uses a different one for each. It gave you 7. So you can kind of go through and decide. Now, if you want them to be longer,
Yeah.
I love to say, great. Can you flesh out these social posts and give more context? Say this is you want it to be educational. I want the copy to be more educational.
So this is a case where sometimes if you're thinking about a blog post and you're going to social, it's like, all right, well, I really want the people on social media to go to the blog post on my website. There are totally valid reasons for doing
Mhm.
that. Also, just getting someone to engage with you on social might be your goal. And so
Right.
you might rather say, I'd rather give the main value of the post. Let's just put it on social. Anyone who wants to read even more can find it on the site, but you might want to go a little bit longer. Obviously, LinkedIn, you see much longer posts on. Instagram, you have the carousel post option. You could create, I mean, sometimes I still see people doing the like, they fill up the caption so much that they say continued in comments. I go,
Mm.
there's got to be a different platform for that if you've got that much to say. But you could turn your blog into a carousel post and share all of the major takeaways on social directly if that's part of your strategy.
So again, then you can go through again and say, hey, rewrite and update the CTA to drive people to the blog.
Right. If it's that
So
goal,
if it's that goal, you can ask it specifically. And here again is that phrasing. It's not about perfection. It's about, so again, it shows up all the time, right? So yeah, it has like in our newest blog, we walk through why that matters. So it gives you a little CTA, et cetera, et cetera. Now we can do an email. Let's go back to writing an email.
back to email.
Yeah.
All right.
So what, this is great. Let's continue and write a, so this is actually going to be a blog promo email. Instead of just in the beginning, it was just like, here's an email about why staging is great.
Right. That would say it was an email only campaign. It was, let me provide you with information that is exclusively in the email. This is more of a, I want to show you something that's on my blog. I need to give you a taste of why you want to read the whole article. So here we go.
So it gives us some subject line options, and I'll go through this really quickly. Preview text options, and then it gives your body copy. And it usually, if you're promoting a blog post, ChatGPT will 9 times out of 10 give you this format where it gives you an introduction, it gives you some bullet points, and it gives you a button CTA. And again, no pressure, just useful advice. So,
It's it's really fallen into a sort of
fall into
cadence.
cadence here.
Yeah.
However, so if you don't like this formatting, but it knows that this is the typical type of email for blog promo,
Right.
which works because you have your,
What
you know,
it's a little bit of, I mean, you watch a movie and you go, "Oh, I knew that was going to be who did it."
yes,
You watch a TV show, like, I bet she's going to say that. Yeah, tropes are tropes for a reason.
right.
That comes back to the M dash. It comes back to some of these. There are reasons why this language model is picking up these things. You might want to get out ahead of it and say, it's starting to make me feel like a robot right now. That would probably, like Calvin made that point. Those are probably the marketers who are using it more and more are more sensitive to it.
Yes.
Depend
So it's the bane of my existence, as you can
right.
see.
Whereas for other, and I'm a marketer, I talk to ChatGPT every day as well, much as I am loath to admit it. But I see that specific, or that has just not until today, that had not shattered my mind quite so much. I have other things that irk me. So tropes are tropes for a reason. Your mileage may vary on if you want to continue to utilize some of them or if you need to break out.
Right, exactly. So what do we want to do next?
Well, so we've been talking about content. We've got email, we've got social, we've got blog. One of the things I know we wanted to discuss was listing promotions. That was the first thing
That's
that
when we
you
started my career here.
yeah. And this is one where we've been using a lot of ChatGPT today, which is obviously a tool that many marketers and many agents and their marketing admins and their operations directors, practically everybody is using to some degree in crafting their messaging. One of the things that I'm so proud of what our team has done over a decade of helping agents promote their listings really well is we have so much information on it. We've helped craft so many Facebook posts, Instagram posts that become ads that get the word out about listings, that we've actually baked it into our tech. So I'll take over for screen share. I want to show you how to create what we've long considered to be the perfect listing promotion. We've baked it into our tech. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the back end of Curator Listing Studio. Here we go. So here we are. We've got curator content here. So we're in Listing Studio. So we're in a demo environment right now. So let's say we're going to go to 1315 Moore Road. The simple way to make sure that's in your studio, if you're a curator client and you're watching and you don't know, or if you're curious about Listing Studio, you would go to your property page from your IDX. You just click Add and Promote Listing. You would just grab the URL from your Lofty IDX, for example. And then you would drop that in there and it would add the listing to this group. So we'll go to this one here. And just as an example of how quickly we can help promote a listing. Again, this is just a demo environment. I'm going to say build a listing landing page. So let's say
we always the first step.
Always the first step. You got to have a destination to drive folks to.
Right.
So it's an active listing and it's taking information from the IDX and it is crafting through AI a compelling headline about it.
Right.
So there we go.
And you can always edit that if you're feeling, if there's maybe something that the seller really wants to highlight, you can add that in. Yeah, with staples. Right. Exactly.
Can I get a little horse emoji in there? Well, let me do that. Maybe not. All right. Well, hold on. No, I'm going down a rabbit hole, right? I'm not going to worry about the stables.
It would have been cute though. I get the vibe.
Thank you. All right. And that quickly, the landing page is published. So here we are. You can see a quick look at what that landing page would be. The primary purpose of this would be to help you generate leads off of this listing. But that's not the only reason why a listing exists, of course. You want to get promotion on social. So we were already just talking about having an AI help you craft great social copy. Again, we've run literally tens of thousands of listing promotions for our clients through the years. And like through the work that folks like Cheryl have done, folks like Danielle have done, folks like so many marketers at Curator have done, crafting really great listing promotion copy, we've seen what works really well. And so we've baked that formula and format into our listing studio to very quickly craft great, compelling copy that drives folks to learn more about a property. So featured home, discover the charm of this renovated 4-bed, 5-bath French chateau inspired residence. It's got information, relevant information about the listing being pulled.
Yeah, and I love you'll love unwinding by the wood burning fireplace as opposed to just saying like
feature
wood burning
fireplace. Feature chef kitchen, double ovens.
And I like, yeah, you'll love cooking gourmet meals. Like that just feels so much more what's the word?
It's aspirational.
Right. It's like Well, I can imagine myself
It's in,
cooking and a
it
gourmet.
invites. It
Yes.
invites and it plants a visual image. It plants
Yes.
a little bit
That's
of a seed there.
be
That's really
great
good
copy.
copy. Let's mess with the copy just for fun. Let's say it was an open house that we're going to promote anyway. All right, studio. Let's see. Sometimes it's a little bit finicky with this. Let's see. Open house. There we go. Generate new copy. Boom. Open house. You're invited. It will be pulling from the listing details. You'd always, again, always double check. Want to make sure that those dates are right. More photos and details. It's the important thing. It is linking back to that landing page. But we have made an edit where you can send it anywhere. You could have, like, if you already built a featured listing page on your website and you aren't trying to generate more leads off of it, you just want to get the home out there as much as possible. I don't care about the email reg. I've got enough folks in my database right now. I just really want to use this as a showcase property and make sure it gets out there. You can change the URL and send it to anywhere. Say we like that. You can not just build the post here, you can also send it to both Facebook and Instagram. You can turn off Instagram or Facebook if you want to only syndicate it to one, but you can also create an ad for it. If you want to turn off the promotion aspect and just make them posts, you just set the budget to 0, and then you would click post or review and then post. You also can edit the images there. It's pulling directly from the IDX. So again, we're getting that copy that our platform has been trained on based on all of the success that we've had through the years to craft these posts. You see on Instagram, it shows up as a carousel. It does format for the platform itself. So here in Facebook, more photos and details, and it's sending to the listing page. More photos and details on Instagram, DM for more information.
Cute.
We get that question a lot. It's like, well, how is it like if it's going to both at the same time? Like, well, link in bio, DM for more information.
I like that.
A little more human, a little more engaging, interactive, and speaking to the platform that you're posting on. So yeah, you click post and it would syndicate to both. So from there, we've got the ability to send an email blast out about it as well. But I'm going to show you the thing that people
highlight.
the highlight, the thing that people get the most excited about, the thing that are not just our clients, but their clients get really excited about. So again, this is a demo environment, so we haven't published any content about it, but this recommended content would be pulling anything with that address, anything that was connected to that listing that is on Facebook, on Instagram, or email in your system. So it's pulling from your social and from your email tool saying, I know what you've published recently. We want to include this. Let's say this about that property specifically, include this. But yeah, you're not going to include ones that are about not that property. So I'll even try to build the closest to accurate, even just in this demo. It's that 4-bed, 5-bath, 4-bed, 5-bath. And now we've got ourselves a 4 Facebook posts selected. There we go. Let's go ahead and select some of the Instagram posts that are about this one as well. 4-bed, 5-bath. And so again, it would be pulling directly from your social feeds and from the campaigns that you've built about that listing. So we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, and now we've got email. Let's click a few of these emails and then generate the listing report.
Yeah, that's literally like the longest part of this whole process is choosing.
Is choosing what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Which then showcases, it's a really great, you get your link here to see the listing report. This is one of the things that our clients love using to communicate with their sellers. It's pulling the information every day. It's updating based on those posts that you've selected as they continue to be seen by more and get more engagement. As those emails continue to open, it's updating every day. And then it's showcasing those campaigns that you've created as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about what some of our other clients have used. They've customized these seller reports to include additional marketing stats, additional marketing efforts that they've created. But yeah, so here you can see it's a great roll up. You just copy this link, send it to your seller. You can text it to them. It looks great on mobile. Send it to them via email. I know that Steve Stick, one of our great clients in Iowa, he was talking recently about how he makes it a promise up front. at the listing presentation, he talks to the prospective seller and shows them one of these that he's built for a past client and says, you're gonna get one of these from me each week.
Hmm. That's great.
The peace of mind that they get, one of the number one things we hear from agents, they like the comments I get from my sellers, like, what are you doing for me? What are you doing for my
Yeah.
mark? And it's like, you're actually doing quite a bit to help them, but if they don't have
Tangible
visibility,
evidence, right?
right, you can't rely on them. Well, it's on Facebook. Well, maybe the algorithm didn't show it to
Right.
them.
Exactly.
So taking that out of the chance and saying, look, I'm gonna send you this and I'm gonna remind you about it and I'm gonna keep updating it with every time we've got, like, when we add the open house, I'm gonna add the open house to it. And you're gonna have more views, more engagement. You're gonna see that the home has been viewed more times. I'll go through, I'll show you all a little bit more of, like Dean Linnell's done a really great job of
Hmm.
adding personalized information to each listing. Cheryl, while I'm pulling that up, do you have any words? I know we're starting to wrap this session up amazingly. It's
I know that
flown
flew
by.
by.
You have any more words of wisdom or advice as our resident robot whisperer?
Yeah, so some other tips I have that we didn't get to like flush through, but some other ones. If you're wondering, it gives you, say, 5 examples for subject lines. You can also ask it to explain or give you a why. So you can say, I like these two subject lines. Can you give me why one would work better than the other? I like doing that too.
Have a conversation with them.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can kind of say, okay, well, this one is more friendly, this is more conversational, you might get more clicks, but this one is more educational. So depending on what you want out of your email, you can also prompt it to,
Give you a little more insight into
yeah,
why.
yes. You also, another one is using anchoring language. So you can tell ChatGPT what to use like as a foundation. So say you're batch creating content and you're doing it for like the whole month.
Okay.
So you want to say like, use this tone from the past post, but apply it to this next topic. So
Yeah.
you're not constantly having to retrain it and it gives you starting over from the very beginning again. So you're like, oh, I really love this friendly, slightly humorous tone of voice. Can you apply it to this next blog post that's going to be about the best parks in Pensacola? Right?
That's a really
Instead
great
of
one.
it just being like, write a blog post about the best parks in Pensacola. And then you're like, what was that tone of voice I used again?
Mm.
Right?
I'm gonna screen share for a second. One of our longtime friends and clients, Jason Cassidy, is a great guy in San Diego, where I usually am. I saw an Instagram reel that he put up the other day about, like, just jumping off of this foundation. The idea is you can create your own custom GPT.
Hmm.
Like, like, it's not just that you can tell it, like, okay, here's a past blog post. Like,
Oh yeah,
at Curator, like, we've
we've
got
done that.
literally like hundreds of blog posts, hundreds of live streams, hundreds of trainings that we've done, books that our founders wrote. Like, you can feed, like, if you've got a buyer's guide that you actually wrote, or a seller's guide that you actually wrote, or neighborhood guides,
Yes, you
feed it
can.
what you've written,
Yes.
so it will have a better understanding of who you are. So yeah, here's a great video from Jason the other day.
GPT. If you're logged into a pro account, you can go to this My GPTs, right? And so you just go in there and you create a GPT. Now you can see I have one created that's called Jason GPT. And so all that is basically a GPT, but with a list of a knowledge base that you've input. So if you're starting your custom GPT, you create a GPT and it takes you right into that configure page. Your first instruction could just be like, hey, you're a real estate agent in Boise. You've been licensed for 10 years. You have a small team and you're looking to grow in this specific neighborhood. And that's it, right? You could stop there. You could upload maybe your listing presentation and a couple things about you. And you already have a head start over just like the baseline non-custom GPTs. And then as you go, upload some PDFs, upload some things, it's going to start to learn your interactions based on the questions you've asked it. And now you have your own custom GPT.
Yeah. So for example, I've done that for Curator's brand voice, and I've uploaded like tons of PDFs and documents from previous things that I've written before ChatGPT was in the picture, because this is a semi-new
It
situation.
is.
So yeah, so it really does know our tone of voice, which is why I had to tell it in the very beginning, like, ignore everything I've ever told you and start from the beginning.
Right. At some point, yeah, you'll want to tell it, hey, you've got to wipe your entire memory. We've got an eternal sunshine of the spotless mind you.
Ethan
But
Hunt has to come in.
that's right.
I love Mission Impossible. I could talk about it for 17 years. Okay, keep
That's our
going.
next slide stream. So I want to show you, here's a seller report that has been fully enriched. It's a real property that one of our wonderful ambassadors, Dean Linnell, has been promoting. It's been seen over 17,000 times. He creates such great content around the listing. He creates a Loom video comparing that listing to other properties in the market. He includes that in his communication. He has a buyer feedback slide. I love when I see more like that feedback loop and then communicating to your seller exactly what is going on with the marketing of a property. You got the YouTube video tour. So many agents are committed, thank goodness, to a really robust video strategy these days. You can include these custom objects in your seller report to show off all of the marketing that you're doing. And it has been a game changer for so many of our clients where they say, oh yeah, my sellers don't wander anymore. Actually, my sellers they started referring me without even asking. Like I'm not even doing the like, hey, if you had a great experience with me, it would really mean a lot if you gave me that 5-star review, or do you know anybody? It's like eliminating the need for those potentially awkward conversations that I know not every agent is comfortable having. We've got folks saying, oh my God, like this, the ease of mind that I have when I see like, oh yeah, like every week I'm getting a text or an email from you that's showing exactly how many people have seen my home, exactly how many people are interested. It does create conversations like, well, if that many people have seen it, why hasn't it sold yet? Well, the agent has a pretty easy time turning that into, it might be time to talk about the price.
Yeah.
If that many people saw it and they've said, I'm interested, but no one's bought it, it's been creating much easier conversations for our clients. So I'm just so proud of the work that our team has done in crafting this tool. It's empowered our clients to have better communication with their clients. Even the more difficult conversations, it's teeing them up to have those in a more like fact-based, statistic-driven way. And then just the way that it actually allows them to market their marketing and show off to every prospective seller exactly what you get when you sign up to work with that agent. So that's our seller report that we found to be kind of the biggest game changer for our clients. It's a part of our listing studio that has those AI-based promotions of your listings. It lets you build that report incredibly easily. You can build coming soon's, just listed, open houses, price reductions. So all of those statuses very quickly, you can build out fresh campaigns again to either boost or just to get out organically. I love the way that our clients utilize these tools. I'm really excited that as of this week, we are now offering Listing Studio as a standalone tool. So if you are watching this now, drop a comment, say Listing Studio, and we'll reach out to you.
Yeah.
Right? We can help you promote your listings. We can help you get seller reports in the hands of your current sellers and of prospective sellers. We've seen it have such an impact on getting the next seller to see, oh my God, yeah, I have to have one of those. Like I would much rather work with an agent who is able to provide that level of clarity, visibility, transparency. So please, if you are interested in promoting your listings the right way every time in very little time, Listing Studio might be the solution for you. Cheryl, any last thoughts before we wrap things up on how to make AI work for you?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot. Let's see, do we have any questions?
Oh yeah, Wendy's got a Wendy, I'm going to hit you with the link for the page on curator.com that has the listing studio. If anyone is interested, go ahead and you can drop that link in the comments there, and you can see an overview of the full product, and how easy it is. Like I literally did just run through the entire thing in like under 5 minutes and create a full like Facebook, Instagram. Again, you can we have a version that also has an email tool available that is for full service curator clients who have a website with us as well, who have an email tool with us as well. So lots of options for us to help you craft better marketing, promote your listings in a better way. So if you're interested in learning more about that, curator.com or curator.com/get listing studio, and that'll be in the comments. Cheryl, thank you so much.
No fluff.
No,
Just results.
That's the curator live stream promise.
Exactly.
Well, I couldn't end it better myself. Tune in next week for another live stream. It won't look this good. Then I'm talking about the camera, but I'm talking about Cheryl. So